Welcome to my tour. This tour is mainly for people that are yet to build. Won't be quite as useful for people that are renovating, but I hope you get something out of it. History. We built a house 30 years ago. Didn't want to do it again this time as we're getting older, and we wanted something that was more efficient. Here's a sneak peek of our new home. Essentially, tin on all sides, and it's in town rather than being a rural block where we had lots to maintain. Design process took about a year. Had lots of ideas from previous sustainable house days. Worked on the flows in and out of the house, in between rooms, moving rooms around. Working out where we wanted to orientate the house and rooms in relation to sun to maximise thermal aspects of passive thermal aspects of the house. Did lots of modelling for the shading of PV panels. Designed it so that there was good accessibility as we get older in case someone needs a wheelchair or a walker. And then we had to decide on what level of thermal qualities we wanted for the house. In the end, we settled for something slightly less than passive house, where there's still an inside and outside membrane, but we didn't take so much account of thermal bridging. Probably had less insulation and unfortunately, because of the soil classification, we need heaps of concrete, more than we would have actually have liked for optimum thermal mass. But the slab is all insulated except for the bridging of piers. The walls were stud walls, 140 mils thick, full of insulation, with a 40 mil cavity. Windows and doors are triple glazed. Ceiling, above the ceiling, there's a cavity, 150 mil cavity for the from the heat recovery system. Moving on to some interesting architectural aspects of the house, we decided to have a courtyard right in the middle of the front of the house, facing north, which is really nice in winter time. And the windows behind it allow the sun to stream right through the middle of the hall into the rooms at the back. The roof is a simple skillion roof, and the eaves are wider than normal modern houses, which gives a slightly high degree of protection from the weather. It's got a 1.5 metre interleaved eave on the back, and we haven't bothered with any sun shading over the windows, but that's worked out really well because they're double glazed, and it's just been a quite good decision. The hall that runs along the centre of the house from the front door behind us right through to the back door here. Courtyard on this side with the sun streaming through the rooms. So it took us about a year to finalise the design, and in that time we decided on engineers, building surveyors, the designer, and after 4 different quotes we'd settled on a builder. The builder that we got, we had to pay for his quote, but that actually worked out really well because he included heaps of detail in there, and that gave us lots of confidence that did exactly what we wanted. So then on to the start of the build, and from the start contract date to the finished contract date was 6 months, and the builder finished spot on time. There's 3 of them, 1 apprentice and 2. We each of us got a what's called a white card, which is for ONH training issues, and the builder was more or less happy to allow us on site to do a few small jobs with this level of accreditation. This is a list of the jobs that we took on. These were jobs that we thought we could do a better job than the average tradie. Some random thoughts. Insulation is absolutely key. Design, and we got our builder to install the bulk insulation rather than a plasterer. Air tightness is also absolutely key, and no point testing for air tightness right at the end once all the plaster's been installed. So it's important to the assessor in there just at the right time to check for air leaks. Just a summary of some indicators of CO2, humidity, room temperatures. We're pretty confident that the HRV that we bought is doing a good job because there's absolutely no condensation on the bathroom windows. The CO2 levels are reasonably good for 2 people. If they're higher than that, then we need to increase the air exchange if we've got friends around. We're using a very small amount of electricity per day, and our heating costs are absolutely minimal. Details on the garden outside. We've built our own plastic house. You can see there, and 4 wicking beds that are high enough that you don't have to bend all these on my blog. So finally, some thoughts to wrap up. Spend as much time as you can to select a good architect or designer and builder, ones that you're confident that you can work with. We've got a 5 kilowatt solar system, and this will generate far more power over the year than we're consuming. So that's really good news. And we're keeping the room temperatures mainly between 16 and 20. If it gets below 16, then we turn the heat pump on, but we don't have to do that very often. So thanks for watching, and best of luck with your own build.